What's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video, and this one is going to be how I prepare cards for grading. So if you've seen some of my recent videos, you know that I just completed my first group submission to Beckett. So that is where people sent me their cards and I would evaluate them and clean them and do everything necessary to get them ready to be sent to be graded by Beckett. So I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, can you do a video and kind of talk through what you're looking for and how you clean them and things like that. So that is what this video is going to be. And there are a lot of different tools that I use. As you see here in front of me, I have a little lamp with it's like a magnifying glass, and then if you hit that, it lights up, which makes it really helpful to evaluate cards really closely. So everything that you see in this video, I will link in the description if you are interested in this stuff yourself. So with that being said, I guess we'll just kind of jump right into it, and I'm just gonna grab the Zion here in the background, and these are really the four main things that you're looking for. So the four subgrades that Beckett looks at are centering, edges, corners, and surface. So those are the four things that you really need to be looking at yourself. So as far as centering goes, you can kind of see the borders there. You want those to be pretty much as even as possible. And then as far as Prism cards go, one thing that is new for this year is the rookie card logo. As you can see there, the outline of the rookie card logo is a little bit off, but nothing too crazy. I've definitely seen a lot worse. And as you can tell, the centering still got a 9.5 on that one. So that one was not a huge deal, but there are definitely different things that you need to look at. And I have a stack of cards here. I actually, at the time of recording this, I am recording this on Sunday, April 12th. I have not actually sent the cards to Beckett yet. I'm going to be sending them either Monday or Tuesday. So these are my cards in front of me that I am going to be including in the group submission. So these are my personal cards. I've already evaluated and cleaned everyone else's, but I saved some of mine that I want to send specifically for this video. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at and if these are going to be good enough to go. And then I have a stack of 3 or 4 cards over here just in case I have to pull any of these out. I can potentially look at those as well and send those. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. And if you guys are interested in doing this yourself, I would recommend getting this guy right here, this magnifying glass. I bought this on Amazon, I want to say for $15 or $20, so nothing crazy. And if you're doing this yourself and if you're just evaluating your own personal cards, maybe 5 to 10 cards every month that you want to send, this is great. It has a light on it and it really helps you see the cards up close. And that is just for personal use, or if you don't have a ton of cards that you're really looking to evaluate. Now, if you have a bunch of cards and you don't want to, continually turn that light on, pick it up, put it down, I would really recommend this guy right here. And again, I will link both of these in the description. Again, this one was from Amazon, right around $40, so a little bit more expensive, but this is an absolute game changer. It saves you so much time and is so convenient and really helps you see the card in super close detail. So I would highly recommend this. And then another thing you're gonna need are some microfiber cloths and then some gloves so you don't get fingerprints on your cards while you're looking at them. And I am actually gonna go ahead and pause the video here, get gloves on, and then I'll come back and we'll evaluate these cards. Alright guys, so I have the gloves on and we are ready to evaluate these cards. We are ready to go. So as you can see here, I have a microfiber cloth on the table, and then you will need another microfiber cloth just to wipe them down. And really all I'm looking for is like some minor either dirt or dust or fingerprints that I can easily wipe off. Now if there is like a major smudge or if there's like an indent on the card, there's really nothing you're going to be able to do about that. And I would just recommend not sending that because the surface grade will get hammered on something like that. And I do have an example that I will show here in a minute. So I pulled out a couple cards that I've held out of the submission just to show you guys, just in case if all these are actually in really good condition and there's nothing really to show, then I did pull out a couple of examples on things that you could look at and you would want to hold off on. So we will start with this Prism Mosaic Giannis. And honestly, the centering on this one looks pretty good just right off the bat with the naked eye. You're really just looking at the left and right borders. The cards with borders are really easy to kind of look at for the centering. So Not seeing any whiting on the corners or edges. So you would be, with these black corners and edges down here, you would really be looking to see if you see any white showing through. So nothing that I see there, and maybe just a hint of some white on that back corner. So that, honestly, just that right there might eliminate, it would definitely eliminate a 10 on corners, and I don't think that would knock that down to a 9. Probably still looking at a, that's kind of hard to say. It's either a 9 or 9.5 on corners. That's really, really minor, and then all the other ones do look pretty good in my opinion. So we will just take it up here to the magnifying glass and see if we can see any other issues with the surface. And again, you're just looking for any fingerprints that you couldn't see with the naked eye, any, dust or indentations. And honestly, not really seeing too much on this card. So I would probably still, even if I don't see anything, I'll always just go ahead and set it down and give it a quick wipe down just to make sure there are absolutely no fingerprints or dirt or / dust on the card. Just make sure it is super clean, and then do the same on the back side. And I apologize if I hit the camera. Don't have a ton of room to work with here, so I'm sure I'm gonna hit the camera a couple times. And that is gonna do it for that one. So other than that one back corner, I think this one looks in really good condition. I think you're probably looking at a 9 on corners, and then in my opinion, either a 9 or 9.5 on everything else. So edges, surface, and centering. So this one, I would go ahead and send, and you're just gonna slide that down in a card saver 1, and that one is ready to go. So next card, we have a Prism Orange Ice Kobe White. So just real quick, like I said, always real quick, just look at the centering first of all. And like I said, with the cards with the borders, it is really easy to tell what the centering looks like. This one is not perfect, but I don't think you're looking at anything under a 9. The left border over here is a little bit thinner than the right border, but I've for sure seen worse centering, so I don't think you're looking at anything less than a 9, and potentially could still get a 9.5. So everything checks out as far as that goes, and then not seeing any whiting again on the corners or edges. So we'll just look at the back as well, and that does look good. So we'll just go ahead and look at the surface. And right off the bat, not seeing really anything. So there is a little tiny dimple right by his shorts. I doubt it's going to be able to pick it up on the camera. Right there in the light, little tiny dimple. But honestly, I don't think that would knock the surface down under a 9.5. I really think this one looks sharp. So again, we're just going to wipe it down, make sure all the fingerprints are off, and again, repeat with the back. And that one is done, so we'll slide it back in the sleeve, put it in a card saver, and that one is ready to go. So next we have our blue Giannis, and this is, if there's nothing wrong with this one, I'm probably going to go ahead and get those examples out. I do have a couple of Zions over here, so I have a purple shock and then a Zion Prism base. So if this one checks out, I will go ahead and get those examples. I don't want to, typically, I'd love it if all of my cards are in excellent condition and I didn't have to pull any out, but in a case where I am doing what you're looking for to send to Beckett, I would like to have a couple issues. So if this one checks out, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys those examples. So we have another Prism Mosaic Giannis, and same as always, first thing we're looking at centering. The two borders look like they are pretty similar in size, so centering looks pretty good. No whiting on the corners or edges, just the naked eye. And again, on that black corner, just a tiny hint of white. Nothing crazy. That I would really not expect that to knock that under a 9.5 on the corners. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that up to the magnifying glass, and see if we can see anything with the surface. And I am not seeing anything on this one as well. And trust me guys, this is not always the case. You know, I had over 100 cards sent to me from people for the submission, and I probably pulled out close to 15 or 20. So these cards are definitely don't always check out. But with that said, a lot of times the modern cards should be in good shape. Like the 18, 19, 19, 20 cards should be in really good shape. Really, one of the main things you're looking for on those is the centering, and then if there's any, like I said, anything on the surface, like indents or some major fingerprints. So those cards checked out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a couple of examples, and let's see. I don't remember the exact reasons I pulled these out, so I'll just go ahead and look at them and see what I was seeing. And I think this one had some print line issues. Yep. So it's kind of hard to see with the naked eye, but you can see there is a print line going like right through his chest. Let me see. Yeah, right there. So right on top of my finger. It's kind of hard to, whoops, keep hitting the camera. That is actually really hard for the camera to pick up. There you go, right there, right where the light is. Print line there. So I don't really think the surface would get a good grade. And then so there was one going across, and then there was one going up as well. All right, sorry guys, I actually ran out of space on my phone, so that cut off. But I held this one out basically for those two print lines. There is one going up the card that is kind of hard to see, and then one that is across the card, which you can also barely see. But that would really, really hurt the surface grade on that. So went ahead and said we should probably hold that one off. So not gonna send that purple shock, and then we'll go ahead and evaluate this Prism base Zion as well. And let's see what I'm seeing on this one. So centering looks pretty solid actually. Oh, okay, so yeah, there was a big issue on the surface on this one. So as always, I looked at the borders on the left and right, look really solid, and then I went up to the rookie card logo, because you want to check that border as well on 1920 Prism. That is something that Beckett looks at. And while I was looking at the rookie card logo, you can see there is quite a big indentation right in the middle of the logo. So that would really hammer the surface grade. I think honestly that would probably bump it down somewhere around like an 8 maybe. So best grade you really possibly could get on this card, I would say, is an 8 or 8.5, which you know, it might as well just leave it raw. So definitely said we should not send this Zion. So those are just a couple of examples. Like I said, there was probably, you know, 12 to 13 other cards that I pulled out for various reasons. Surface issues, centering, corners, edges, you know, those are the main things that you want to look for. So that is what I look at, just basically the subgrades on the Beckett case. So fortunately for me, my cards so far look pretty good, but unfortunately for the video, there wasn't anything wrong, so I had to pull out some examples. So I hope you guys took something away from that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And if you are interested in sending cards to me for a future submission, we will have submission number 2 coming very soon. Just check out on my Instagram. Should have all the details posted there here soon. So that is going to do it for the video on what you're looking for when you are evaluating cards for grading. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.